Fake news.
Mr. President.
Fake news.
Fake news.
Mr. President.
Fake
I just want to have one thing to say.
Fake news,
Mr.
no.
President, I'm
Very
trying to
fake
get a word
news.
edgewise here.
Fake news put out by
Mr.
fake
President,
news.
it's
Fake
not...
news is trying to say good things
Mr. President, it's
about
not fake news just because you don't like it.
A few days ago, fake news called...
Enough! Each and every Tuesday, the Journey into Comics Network brings you the real news with the poor report, with the late-breaking news that really matters.
The following is a Journey into Comics Network production.
And here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Journey into Comics, the podcast dedicated to all things nerd, with your host, the podfather himself, Nate Phillips.
Showtime, a-holes.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the 200th episode of Journey into Comics. I can't believe I'm here. Today, joining me is a large amount of the members of the Journey into Comics Network, starting from left to right, I guess. Tyler from Podcastrophe, welcome.
What's up, everybody?
Welcome back to the show, man. It's good to have you.
I'm glad to be back on.
Hell yeah, it's been a while. Also joining us, your partner in crime, your life partner, your best friend, your buddy, your homie, from Podcastrophe as well. Dick, welcome.
What's up?
Not much. How's it going?
I'm doing great.
Haven't seen you for like 5 episodes on the show.
I know.
It's
I'm
been
sorry.
a while. And joining us for like the 3rd or 4th time ever, we need to make this more of an occurrence for sure.
I know.
From Brews With Dudes, Mr. Nick Maxon, also from LAFFYCON. Welcome.
Yes, thanks for having me.
No. Thanks for having us. See how that works?
It's just good to be together.
It is good to be together, man. It's crazy because we don't often get to do this all in the same space. Also joining us, though, last but certainly not least, my co-host from Foodies Watching Movies, Miss Veronica Evans. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm happy to be here at LAFFYCON.
Yeah, we're happy to have you here, guys. So today we're going to get down into a little bit of a fun game, I think. And right out of the gate, we're going to do a big movie fight. Essentially, the game is
Okay.
it's going to go
Here we go.
real simple
Right
and to
into
the
it.
point. We're not messing
them
around today.
fight.
Yeah, we're going to let you guys fight. So the way it works is this. You guys are each going to present me an argument or your opening statement for what movie you think was the best movie of 2018 so far. Each of you will have 2 to 3 minutes. When I call time, cut it off. So make it concise and very to the point. Everybody will have an opportunity to counter argue each person on the panel's thing, okay? So get ready to battle. Right out of the gate, we're going to start with Dick.
And you're mediating, right?
And I'm going to mediate, so I have no
Okay.
opinion in this. They're going to mediate, too. They'll be
Are
voting.
you going to be like the fact checker?
Yeah, I guess I'll be the stats checker. That's cool, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go with Dick first. Movie
All right.
of the year.
Movie of the
So
year. Thus far. Downsizing.
Downsizing?
I'm kidding. It's not downsizing.
Okay, I was totally shocked at that.
I almost punched you in the face.
It was such a weird movie. Like it started
Matt
out.
Damon.
It started out strong-ish, and then it got weird, and then it got weird-ish, and then it kind of finished off strong. But you just don't know where that movie's going ever. But no, I'm gonna go with Infinity War.
Infinity War. Ooh, I'm sure a lot of
Avengers,
people here
Infinity
have
War.
seen Infinity War. Any major reason right out the gate?
Because the movie had it all. I mean, to begin with, this is a movie 10 years in the making. This is the culmination of 10 years worth of sometimes 3 movies a year.
I feel like a podcast host on the network said exactly that at one point, pointing at myself here. Because it is.
We've all said it.
It's that
We've all said
culmination of everything. So Infinity War is your pick hands down.
Yeah.
All right, Veronica, you're up next.
When do we get to like counter that? Like at
Oh,
the end?
in a minute,
or-
after everybody
Okay.
talks
So
about
we have
what
to
they
all
picked.
give our
So we've got
picks
Infinity
first?
War so far on the list.
Okay. Well, I didn't really think that there was too many contenders for like best movies of 2018. It's still pretty early in the year. Honestly, I haven't really had any opportunity to see movies that weren't affiliated with comic books or superheroes, you know. But I'm going to go with, regardless of that, I'm going to go with Black Panther.
Oh, Black Panther, okay.
I think that was a really well done movie, and it made a ton of money. It was a feel good movie. Like, you left the movie theater feeling like you just watched a great movie, and it had like everything, you know.
It
was
definitely
cool.
did have
And Black Panther is always one of my favorite comic book characters. and I just love the story of it.
Okay, excellent. I love that second argument. Nick?
I have to pick something different.
Yeah.
I guess...
Because he was going to pick Infinity War.
I was going to pick Infinity War, but for the sake of argument, here we go. I will go ahead and just pick Solo then.
Okay.
Which I know most people won't agree with.
I liked the movie.
I really did too. I don't understand why it got so much hate. There are points. I mean, obviously there are points, but I'm just one of those people who a movie is supposed to be an escape.
Something that you enjoy, absolutely.
And the fact that, obviously we dedicate time to critiquing movies and stuff, but it's like you forget the fact that it's just a story. It's a fun story. It's, I'm one of those people that we just said that sometimes you were getting 2 or 3 Marvel movies a year. We could start doing that with Star Wars now and do it till I die, and I'm never, ever going to get sick of it, and I'll go see every one.
Well,
Thank you.
If the rumor is true and Kevin Feige gets the control of Star Wars next,
Get
possible.
on it. Get on
That's
it.
a very big rumor.
I haven't heard that
Oh,
rumor.
yeah. You guys have been hearing about
rumor.
that.
Well, it just goes along with what I've been saying the last couple months about Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah.
No one is happy with her, so...
No.
And
They need to... Okay. Well, last point before we move on to Nick is... I think they need to take the approach that Marvel did and get a variety of directors and let people do their own thing.
Yep, absolutely.
I agree,
We
yeah.
as fans need to let them do their own thing.
And not be like, oh my God, Luke has to be one certain type.
Oh my God, we're going to reshoot the movie that's already done.
We're not talking about that today. Tyler, what's your pick for movie of 2018 so far?
out of all the great movies that I've seen this year, and Nick touched on it a little bit. For me, going to the movies is an experience. I'm going to escape reality, to enjoy just a fun story, and I always talk about the $80 we spend on concessions. If I can spend $10 on a movie ticket and justify that $10, then that movie is a great movie to me. And there was no movie that I've seen this year so far that topped that other than Deadpool 2.
Ooh, Deadpool 2, great choice.
It was
That was a good one.
fun. It was engaging. It touched on emotions with a character that's normally just slap happy and sarcasm and
Too much in your face.
too much in your face all the time. It actually brought some emotion to that character, which, throughout that character's history is either really, really deep or really, really shallow.
Well said, yeah.
I loved Infinity War, but Deadpool freaking nailed it for me.
Okay, so Deadpool, Infinity War, Solo, and Black Panther are the 4 movies of 2018. According to you guys, now we're going to really duke it out in battle. We're going to start with Tyler. Who do you want to take down and defend that Deadpool is better against first?
I'm going to go with Veronica and Black Panther.
Ooh.
See, I feel like I'm already going to, concede because I kind of forgot that I loved Deadpool 2. I didn't think that it was as good as the first one. I thought, the first one, it's always like that with these franchises and these sequels. Like, the first one is always where it's at, But I liked where they went with it. I thought it was, now I'm just defending your movie.
See, okay, so me personally, part of the reason why I enjoyed
See, I'm not good at this, Nate.
Deadpool 2 so much is I didn't think that they could top the first one.
And I don't think they did.
I think they did. In my opinion, they did. That movie is a lot more entertaining from start to finish. There is never a dull moment in that film, to me. Black Panther, with all the money that it made and everything that it did with the political and social climate, I mean, it's a great film, don't get me wrong, but the cinematography was terrible. When you have what was
You argued the CGI was awful.
it was
in the movie.
awful.
The
It was
rhinos
totally awful. We
are-
should not. It is 2018. We should not be having shoddy CGI
Blurry
in these
rhinos.
films.
Not when you're spending hundreds of millions of dollars
Right.
to make
Well,
the
no.
movie.
Nate, do you
That's a
remember?
good
You and I
point.
have talked about it a little bit. Do you
Sure.
remember what the budget of Black Panther was?
Oh, God, it was like 150 million?
I think 150 was the right number. So
175-ish? Let me check that.
you have
I
a
can't.
$150 million budget, and half of the time that the main character of the movie is on screen, it's nothing but blur. If he is moving, it is blur, and
Okay.
I can't accept that.
Okay.
Now, I will say this: Killmonger is one of the best villains thus far in the MCU. I did not like Michael B. Jordan's performance as Killmonger, and that's part of the reason why I didn't enjoy the movie as much as I would have. Mm-hmm. He was just too over the top, trying too hard all the time to be.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, I just thought that this movie brought up so many different different subjects. Like there was so much to it, you know. It was so many different stories that I thought kind of worked together really beautifully to tell an arching story.
And I would agree with that because there is so much going on in Black Panther, but
it's very emotional for a comic book movie.
All right,
without
cut it off. We're going to cut it off now. The time has stopped us. So, okay. So now, Veronica, who are you going to battle that you think Black Panther is better than? Are you going to take on Nick? You want to take on Dick? How you want to do this?
Okay. What did you say, Blaine?
I said Infinity War.
Infinity War. Okay. I'm going to say... I'm gonna battle Nick.
Oh,
it's an easy pick.
Oh man,
I was ready for everyone to fight me.
I feel like Solo could have been so much better. I thought the casting was good. I loved the chick from Game of Thrones, Emilia Clarke, right?
Yeah.
I thought she was great.
Right?
Solo was a good movie. I liked it, but I don't need to see it again. I can wait for it to come out on Netflix, and then watch it like when I'm about to fall asleep or something. Like I enjoyed it. It was a good Star Wars story, but that's. It was poor marketing, it was disappointing box office. Clearly Black Panther was the more successful movie.
Well, the thing is, I'll retort the flop comment. I think if you're comparing it to the last movie that came out of Disney, Infinity War, it's kind of hard. I can see where you're coming from.
It's nearly impossible.
But when you look at it in terms of any other movie that's not a Disney movie, it did not flop at all.
Correct.
It's like, it flopped. Like, yeah, it only made $400 million. It only made that much.
I think it just made 202 globally.
Really?
Yeah, it's bad.
I thought anyway.
Just to back up. And to
I'll give
back
you a
up
shovel
Black
for this
Panther,
hole you're digging.
$200 million budget.
Okay.
We were just shy of that.
Thank you.
Continue.
Okay, I will agree before I start disagreeing. I do think that the marketing was terrible.
Okay.
I did not like the way that they marketed it at all.
Huge miss on the Solo Cups. They could have changed them yellow and had like an actual Millennium Falcon on the Solo Cup.
Holy shit!
How
did they not think of that?
I don't know. All they did was.
I'm sorry. I'll keep it PG. There's children.
Why didn't we market that?
I don't know because we're not the
They
head of
had
marketing.
an entire market in the Midwest just for Solo Cups.
They really did. All the beer pong games that could have been had with Solo on the cup.
I feel like another thing with Solo that happened was the release date.
Oh yeah, so close to the other two movies. It is hard to.
Okay, guys. It was a really great movie. It was a fun ride.
Based on just the movie
terrible
itself.
Timing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Terrible timing.
Mixed with I think there was also backlash from people being upset at The Last Jedi.
Absolutely.
Just not doing what they
And
wanted
Rogue
Disney
One.
to do. So they're like,
Yeah.
let's boycott Solo so they don't do what we don't want them to anymore.
And that Thanos meme perfectly summed it up. Did you see that one where it said, did you boycott Solo? It's like, yes. It's like, what did it cost you?
Everything. Oh my God, yes, I love it.
Now we're not going to get anything fun. And I think I'm disagreeing. I'm going to agree with her the whole time now. But there were so many, everybody, when they first talked about doing new Star Wars movies, everyone screamed, Obi-Wan or Vader. And they're like, Han Solo. And you're like, okay.
Just so shortly after they had taken, spoiler alert, shortly after they had just killed Solo from the franchise, and Harrison
Right.
Ford's
Too
not
soon,
tied
guys.
to it
Maybe
anymore.
they think that that's their thing. It's like, we killed him off, but now we're going to give you some more. It's like, okay, but what about every other character that we actually care about more?
I think part of what hurt Solo up until it released, along with the bad marketing, was we as fans had heard so much about how bad Alden Ehrenreich was as an actor.
Yeah.
And that was never the case. It was just his interaction with the directors that they had. Once Ron Howard took over and reshot everything that Ron has said about Alden Ehrenreich is he's fantastic. He has all the ability in the world.
It felt like it was a concerted effort to make it appear as though it was going to be a bad movie. Obviously not from Disney's perspective.
Yep.
Right,
But
bad
every
press.
single person that wasn't affiliated with Disney was crapping on it months before it even came out.
Yep.
There was all the rumors and conjectures of this movie's definitely going to bomb at the box office before we had even gotten more than the first trailer, I think.
Exactly. And
So-
I think they put out too much even. Like I felt like every week for a while you were seeing new clips. It's like I have now seen 30 minutes of the movie.
Right.
Totally.
before
So
I've
we
even
all
seen
agree Solo is not the best movie of 2018.
Nick is gonna say that every single thing surrounding the movie was bad, except the movie itself. The
Which
movie
was good.
itself
Yeah. Yes.
was awesome.
Good
Packed
call.
with action, great cameo appearance at the end of the movie there.
Even
mind-blowing.
better than this is years old, but even better than
Rogue
Vader
One.
making an appearance in Rogue One.
Absolutely.
The cameo at the end of it was like, so
Yeah.
there he is.
I don't
Are we
know how
doing
many
this
young
again?
kid-
I don't want to spoil it.
I don't know how
but
many
feel
young
like-
kids are here, but I definitely went, oh, fuck. As soon as I saw him on screen, like, loudly in the theater, and then everybody
Oh,
kind of,
my
like, looked back
goodness.
and like, this guy. And I'm like, I didn't mean to. Like, he's my favorite. Like, come on now. All right, Dick, it's your turn.
This is tough.
Versus everybody.
And this wouldn't be an episode of JIC without a really quick tangent. I really want that Teddy Roosevelt cutout back there.
Oh, my
want it.
God, it's awesome.
I don't know that you're
I saw
worthy
that.
of it.
I want it.
Ooh.
Regardless.
Is my mic even
But anyways,
picked up?
Yeah.
This is hard to pick because I loved all of these movies up here. But I mean, are we allowed to attack someone that's already been attacked? Because I think
Yeah.
Black Panther
Dude, yeah.
is definitely the worst of them up here.
You do?
Whoa.
I kind
don't think
of
so.
agree.
You agree?
After reassessing my opinion and hearing the arguments,
It's weird.
I've been converted.
It's weird to attack it because I enjoyed it. It wasn't the movie I wanted it to be though. So, I mean that's just personal, I guess.
I mean, it did have a lot going on.
It had a lot going on because you had to introduce all these side characters. You had to introduce Wakanda Wakanda itself was a character.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right, and it had been
I will-
teased for so long.
I will jump in and say one positive thing about Black Panther is they did a fantastic job with Wakanda. I don't know that anyone could have ever done a better job of portraying Wakanda the way that it was because it was perfect.
And I thought the casting was perfect
Yes.
too.
I didn't like Claw. I thought he was a little over top. Then, given I don't know his character in the comics,
And you didn't remember him from Age of Ultron.
I remember him from Age of
Okay,
Ultron.
okay, good. 'Cause
But I wasn't a fan of how long he lasted.
fair enough.
He was fodder in that movie.
Yeah.
And then
But he was fun fodder.
But the thing is,
and he did have a badass bionic arm. So
and that's very much, 100% to the comics. Granted, he didn't have the dorky purple and silver costume like in the comics, but also Ulysses Claw, spoiler alert, dying in Black Panther doesn't necessarily mean Claw can't return as a more villainous character because he
Right.
kind of becomes more robotic the more shit happens to him.
okay.
So,
He comes back from the dead.
yeah.
But with
Marvel.
Infinity War, who knows what's going to
he
happen?
does robot
Also
stuff.
true. With Infinity War, we aren't sure what the outcome could overall be.
I think this
from-
argument is coming down to Deadpool 2 versus Infinity War, right?
Yeah, so it looks like the Podcastrophe bros have to go to war for a second, and I can't wait. So, closing
bro.
arguments, one-on-one right now. I'm going to let Dick attack and go after Deadpool first.
Oh, that's so hard because
Oh,
I
know.
love that movie.
That's why
Witness
I did this.
me.
So, Deadpool 2. It was a really fun movie. It was a fun movie that's just all it was. It was just fun. Whereas Infinity War, it was the total package. It had comic relief where it needed it.
Totally.
It had super dramatic tearjerker moments. It had the feels. It had the action. It wasn't a Captain America suck-off fest.
Fair enough, yes.
And it was it was great. The villain, I love movies where the villain drives it.
And is triumphant.
It's not exactly that they're triumphant, but where
Thanos is the main character of Infinity War. There's no doubt about
exactly. And Thanos brings that movie home. Thanos is that movie. And going back to The Dark Knight.
Ooh, we're going to get to that.
Heath Ledger's Joker is that movie.
that. You guys aren't going to like me when we talk about
Oh,
that.
no, we are
Oh,
not.
great.
Okay, so I agree with some of what you just said. Part of the problem that I had, and it's not even that I have a problem with Infinity War, because obviously I love the film. It's a 9 out of 10 all day. If you on the low end of the scale, Deadpool is over the top. Hi, sweetie. Deadpool is over the top for me because if you and I were friends and you had never seen anything comics in your life, and I said, hey man, I'm going to get you into comics. Let's go watch a movie. I'm going to take you to see Deadpool. I'm going to take you to see a movie that's not 10 years of history, so you know what the hell is going on.
You're right.
You can't do that with Infinity War.
Valid
Because
point.
I would be sitting next to you asking you questions the entire movie. Like, who's this guy? Why is he doing that? You know, you can't see... it's not comparing apples to apples. You cannot compare that movie to any other movie by itself because it's 10 years of movies.
Correct.
So, though Infinity War is great, Deadpool is the total package because it has the tearjerker moments. It has the action. It is nonstop comedy that is not cheap. It's not cheesy. It fits with the character and it makes sense and it's hilarious.
It's not cheesy?
Uh-oh.
Celine
See, this is
Dion.
great because guess what? These two are going to help us decide which one of you is right.
Let me
so-
elaborate on cheesy. Sharknado is cheesy. Tremors 7.
So
which
it's
they're
not
gonna-
B-level
which-
cheesy.
It's not B-level cheesy, thank
It's
you.
the
It's
right
still an
amount of
A-list
cheesy.
Let me rephrase
movie.
Tremors
that.
6.
All right.
There's no 7.
Cold Day in
No,
Hell
that's
or
coming out
something?
next fall.
Oh, yeah, it is. That's
The,
real.
Straight
the
to
winds of
Netflix.
change.
Okay, so Nick, Veronica, now it's going to be partly your guys' duty to be one of the votes. I'm one of the votes. We're going to have these guys be the last vote, and we're going to determine which movie is the better movie. What do you guys think?
Infinity War.
Hands down, Infinity War.
And no questions, no second thought. It's the ultimate ensemble cast. It's
Yes.
like how many characters are in it? There's like
At least 40.
there's just an unbelievable amount of, and you're right. You can't just be airdropped into Infinity War not knowing any idea. You're just like, what the hell is going on?
But honestly,
Apparently
who is
you
going
can
to see
watch-
Infinity War that hasn't seen any of the Marvel movies before?
Right.
Fair
but
point.
If you've
This
seen,
movie was for the
if
fans.
you've seen half of them or a quarter of them,
You still get the idea
then
of it.
you're just like, oh, there's that guy. Oh, there's
Apparently,
that guy.
you can watch all of the movies except Guardians of the Galaxy. Miss Miranda.
She just
She's
got the
shaking
unassuming stare from the stage. Guardians is my favorite series. Are you kidding me? That's so crazy. But okay, so
They're
you
part of
guys
the Percy
both
Jackson
agree?
universe.
Infinity War?
Well, I've seen Deadpool 2 once, and I've
Sure.
seen Infinity War twice. If I was going to pick a movie to watch again, it would probably be Deadpool 2. But overall, I think because I am a Marvel fan, and I've been waiting so long, and I'm going to go with Infinity War.
Infinity War. So you guys are voting Infinity War. What do you guys think? Infinity War across the board? Infinity War? Deadpool?
Miranda says Deadpool.
You guys can still vote for Solo if you want.
Right. You could still vote for Solo if you're
Black
feeling it.
Panther's been taken off the table.
Black Panther's off the board officially.
I think we're going with Infinity War.
You're going Infinity War. We've got one vote Infinity War, one vote Deadpool. So the crowd is split. So it's down to me.
The mediator.
Okay, so first of all, Deadpool 2 is a masterpiece because it does a great job of telling you a hilarious story with a lot of different emotions. They give you a lot of cool cameos. You're not expecting the Juggernaut reveal. You're not
Right.
expecting a lot of the different reveals. I mean, they have the whole first class team hiding in a room. Awesome moment. It is action-packed with moments. I think the one thing Deadpool suffers from is having to top that first movie that literally made me fall in love with the character of Deadpool. So the second movie did great until it retconned the whole movie at the end. And then it was just a little too ridiculous, but I loved it, but it was a little too ridiculous. I like the stakes that are in Infinity War just a pinch more. It's higher stakes. It's not guaranteed that time can be reversed and everything can be fixed like they did in Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
So ultimately,
It wouldn't be Deadpool, though, if he
exact.
just
Also
shit
true.
all
It's-
over.
I mean, he even retconned Green Lantern. I mean, how perfect is that? But
Right.
I'm going to go with Infinity War ultimately only because I've seen it more times than I've seen Deadpool 2.
I want to make a point to defend Deadpool 2. And
Weird?
This is
Okay,
going
sure.
off of something that he said. Like he said, you can't just drop into Infinity War. You can't just drop into it. You got to watch all the other movies. Deadpool 2, you don't even need to watch the first one really.
I agree with that. Yeah.
You can just go into it and just watch it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, okay, so what's her name, Vanessa?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you see her for like 2 seconds and then nope.
Morena Baccarin, yeah.
Yeah, and then but you clearly understand she's a love interest. Sure, you might not have as deep a connection with her as if you would watch the first movie, but she's unnecessary to the movie.
I have one question to ask before we
Raise the hand and
raise the
determine the
hands.
winner.
Did anyone else enjoy the Brad Pitt cameo as much as I did?
You know what's crazy? I've only seen the movie once. I didn't even recognize it was him. Like, my brain was so like, who was that?
As soon
that,
as
I
he
had to
popped on
process.
screen, I looked over at him and
I
I
just
was just
slapped his arm. I'm
hysterical. It's Brad Pitt.
I guess his kids really loved Deadpool, and it didn't really take much. All he wanted was a hand-delivered coffee from Ryan Reynolds to do the movie, and Ryan Reynolds really delivered him a coffee by hand.
Years ago, when Burn After Reading came out, I took a screenshot of his face like right before George Clooney shot him in the face when he's popping out of the closet, and he's got like the happiest
he's just
face
grinning.
coming out and it's just, I wish they would have just used that for Deadpool 2.
Okay, so you guys are shocking right now because I have to say who the winner is. We know what the crowd vote is. It's split. You guys voted Infinity War. I'm going Infinity War. It looks like Infinity War. So the winner of the movie fight is Nick with Infinity War because he was going to pick it before Dick did. But
fair.
we'll call them co-winners because it is an amazing movie. I struggle to find anything wrong with the movie. I feel the more I've watched Infinity War, the more I've realized the amazing little tiny subversive stuff that could happen, i.e. Groot isn't dead. Stormbreaker has a part of Groot.
Right.
All you got to do is cut off a part of Stormbreaker, regrow Groot. He's perfectly fine. So that's a loophole. But anyways, I digress. I loved doing this little movie fight. We've got to definitely involve this more into the show in the future. I don't know who all wants to stay put, but we're going to do a couple more minutes here talking about a couple other things. I guess before anybody possibly dips out, we should mention that moving forward, the whole network is going to look different. We're updating pretty much everything. Brews with Dudes, you guys had the first new logo, and I absolutely love the logo.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
me too.
It was definitely a collaborative effort. Everybody kind of had different thoughts and ideas on what would look good, and we just kind of worked it. Podcastrophe, we're working on your guys' official updated logo. It's kind of a work in progress. Foodies Season 3 will be dropping sometime in August or September. Lots of change coming. JIC 200 brings the whole network to a overhaul, new logo for this show has a new logo. The network now has a new logo. So it's cool to kind of do the rebranding thing and evolve and step up. And I'm glad you guys can all be a part of it now that we're nearing a year of the network. That's crazy. 1 month will be a year.
Wow.
So, right? Isn't that wild? I'm not going to do a whole reflective thing like on JIC 150 where I just reflect on everything that happened. We're not into that today. Now we're going to discuss a movie that's 10 years old. And briefly, I'll give our thoughts on it. We never got to cover this on Journey into Comics. It was, at one point in time, my all-time favorite movie. It is The Dark Knight, Chris Nolan's iteration of Batman with Heath Ledger, Christian Bale, and so on. I really did love the movie for the longest time, and even still do. I just think that series got spoiled for me after that movie. Dark Knight Rises happens, Bane happened, and I was just kind of like, okay, I'm over.
How can you beat Heath Ledger
You
as
can't.
the Joker?
And that's I think the lesson.
That
here
should have
is
been the swan song, and they should have dipped.
They should have just been like, okay, that's it. Batman and Joker fought.
You guys are going to haul me off the stage when it's my turn to talk.
Okay.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to be able to stick around for this whole conversation.
Fair enough.
But I thought Christopher Nolan coming in and he was the best person to give Batman a
complete
new
overhaul
life.
Absolutely.
Because the old ones were good movies, but they were silly. I mean, you had Jim Carrey. They were.
Some of them don't hold up.
Yeah, but Batman Begins as an origin kind of thing.
Amazing.
I really liked the third one with Bane, and yes, it wasn't as good. But how do you top The Dark Knight?
You absolutely can't.
Because it was that movie was so. It was dark. There were aspects of it that you were trying to figure out what was going on, and
I feel like just Christian Bale ruined it for me though with his stupid bat voice.
That is a good point.
Yeah, well.
The bat voice is bad.
Them's
Bane's
fighting
voice
words.
is bad. Maybe that's the thing. Chris Nolan did the movies great, but whoever edits did the voices no justice.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the lesson we can learn here. I think that the stakes were especially high for Dark Knight because it was a follow-up to Batman Begins, which was an incredible story.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you introduced Ra's al Ghul, you introduced Scarecrow, and did them both so brilliantly.
I wouldn't agree with the Scarecrow.
Oh, I would.
Oh, he was awesome.
Scarecrow was very well portrayed, but the amount that he was in the film and his role in the total thing was terrible. that is a kick in the teeth of that character.
I mean, you got to think that typically Scarecrow is a upper level sidekick villain. He's not ever the guy that's leading the charge. You've got your Jokers, your Penguins, your Riddlers. Those are the guys, Two-Face, that are putting together plans. You've got guys like your lower level dudes, Firefly and Scarecrow and Killer Croc and whatnot, that are going to help in that regard.
It doesn't hold up to me.
Oh.
Sorry, go ahead, Nick.
You go first, ma'am. I've already interrupted you more than
No,
enough.
you're fine. I was just going to say, I don't think that it holds up because I'm so into Gotham. Gotham has forever ruined any other kind of Batman for me because it's so good.
I agree with that. Gotham is a different level of Batman.
Yeah, it's taken it to the next level to the point where I don't really care about the Christopher Nolan Batmans anymore.
Oh, fair point.
Except for Heath Ledger, I feel like Gotham's ruined Batman for me because it's so good.
My heart's breaking.
I know, it's hard, right? This is why I wanted to bring this up, because we never got to really cover this, and it's 10 years later. We have had some time to reflect. Literally, the movie comes out, or will have come out 10 years ago, like 3 days after this episode drops. So, like, right dead on in the window and everything. July 18th of 2008 was its release. Dick, what are your thoughts on the movie?
I love the Christopher Nolan movies. I love the fact that every single movie has, like, twofold worth of villains. Like, you have the initial villain, Scarecrow, and then later in the movie you get Ra's al Ghul as like the main villain, and you think the main villain's there, and then it's like, oh no, there's one. With the exception of the Dark Knight, because Heath Ledger's Joker is the villain, but he's also the hero of that movie.
Absolutely,
because he brings up so many points on like it's a social commentary.
Absolutely,
and totally.
I love that. I love that he's bringing all these points and making you think. He is making you think that entire movie.
And another thing you got to think of is he took himself, literally to the limit for that role.
Oh, yeah.
Drove himself crazy, was on sleeping pills and drinking every night just to he literally tried to go weeks without sleeping just to get a semblance of crazy, and really bought in. He wrote a diary of the Joker, like as the Joker. I would love for them to someday release that and see what was in that notebook.
Do you think that if Heath Ledger wouldn't have passed away, that it would have, the performance still been the same? Because I do.
Oh yeah, absolutely. His performance holds up hands down.
Like how acclaimed it is. Do you think if he was still alive today, would people still be talking about his portrayal of the Joker as reverently as we are? Because I think so.
I think it would, but the fact that he did pass away before it came out adds just such a weird level
and an additional level of creepy to it too.
Exactly.
Like, there are certain lines.
If you don't necessarily have to connect it. You don't have to say like he passed away because of doing. You don't have to do that. It's still just like, damn.
It's still eerie.
You were so into it, and
yeah, and
it had such a fun level.
And who can forget Why So Serious? It's one of like the longest lasting catchphrases of movie history.
So good.
But yeah, I loved the movie. I agree with you guys. Tyler, buddy.
It's time.
Yeah.
I'm going to take my leave so I don't have to listen to.
Sure, fair enough.
That's fine.
Nick, thank you so much for joining us for JIC
Final
200.
comment.
Sure.
Another aspect that I really, really loved about it, as awesome as Heath Ledger was, is what's his name? Aaron Eckhart? Mm-hmm. Is that his name?
Yes, sir. Two-Face.
His descent into Two-Face is one of my favorite, like showing how he became. It was just, there's so many levels to that movie, and I really liked that you just saw him go fucking crazy.
That was really cool, just seeing like all these little things throughout the movie.
Yeah.
And overall all-star cast. You can't. Michael Caine.
Minus Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Really? I don't mind
terrible
her.
Gyllenhaal.
And I don't mind her. Who did she replace? Katie Holmes.
I hate it when
Katie
people
Holmes.
do that.
Yeah.
In,
I know.
In big movies, when like
looking at you, Don
couldn't you
Cheadle.
just made it work?
Looking at you, Mark Ruffalo. What would the MCU be with Ed Norton instead? That's a question for another podcast. But
I like Mark Ruffalo.
No, okay.
No.
Ed Norton's
Same with Terrence Howard. No.
Oh, Terrence Howard's a for me. But all right, Tyler.
Kiddies, have fun.
Thanks again, Nick,
Okay.
for joining us for JIC 200, my friend.
So
Check out Brews with Dudes every Saturday on the Journey into Comics network at journeyintocomics.com. Tyler?
So I'm gonna preface my soon-to-be unpopular statement with
I can't
the
wait.
fact that I love Christopher Nolan as a director.
Sure.
Part of the problem that I have with the overall Nolan Batman franchise is I hate origin stories. That's why I think Thor, the original Thor movie, is one of the worst
MCU
movies, and I'll argue that all day. It's not a very good film.
It really
there's
isn't.
not a lot going on in it.
No one's arguing that.
It's all set up.
But Batman Begins, I saw that opening night the year that it came out, and I walked away from that, and I was just not impressed. You know, when Scarecrow was revealed, I was excited because Scarecrow, the thing that I have with the DC universe is I enjoy the villains more than I enjoy the heroes. Scarecrow is one of my favorite villains, so it's a little bit of bias why I don't like the first movie. But they could have done so much more with Scarecrow. I totally agree with everything that you said, that he is a upper-level sidekick villain, and I don't disagree with that. But Scarecrow has so much more than what he was, you know, or how he was portrayed. And I can't ever remember that actor's name. But
Cillian Murphy.
Thank you. He does a fantastic job. I love.
Absolutely.
I love
and he also
creepy.
cameoed in Dark Knight.
Yes.
As well. Yeah.
So I have
Dark Knight Rises.
Dark
Did
Knight
he
Rises.
as well? I can't remember.
He
I've
was
only
the
seen it
judge.
twice. That's right.
The
The crazy judge. I forgot about that.
So I have my qualms with the first movie. It, in my opinion, is not the weakest film out of the three. My personal favorite is the third one. I love Tom Hardy as Bane. Say whatever you want about his voice. I love.
My voice is awful, Batman.
I'm not a big fan of Luchador Bane. I loved Tom Hardy as Bane. So, here's the bad part. As great as Heath Ledger's performance was as the Joker, that's not the Joker. I'm sorry. Mark Hamill's Joker is the Joker.
Okay.
You have all these different Jokers in all these movies that are all portraying a different character. That is not the Joker. You know, Two-Face and Riddler, when they were in their movie, they were both portraying a version of the Joker in some way.
Okay, I get that.
So Heath's version wasn't your favorite.
It's not that it wasn't my favorite, because his portrayal as the anarchist-type Joker was fantastic. I actually fell asleep during that movie more than once.
Damn.
That movie was high point, 45 minutes of nothing. High point, 45 minutes of nothing. You know, I loved and Nick and Blaine hit the nail on the head with Harvey Dent's descent into Two-Face. That, in my opinion, was the
best part.
The greatest part of the movie.
Sure.
I agree with Veronica. Christian Bale's Bat voice, I just can't do it. I don't want to listen to it.
I can't stand
It's
it.
terrible.
It doesn't hold up.
He is the
It's
worst.
cheesy.
George Clooney was a better Batman than Christian Bale. I'm sorry.
Nate and I were just talking about this yesterday, and he made a good point about the new Batman, Batflex, you know. What were you saying about how it's built into his suit, and that's how they modulate it?
Exactly. They made it a function of the bat suit that his
so
voice
it wasn't
was modulated.
just him being a dork, like, I'm Batman.
Exactly. You could recognize the voice was modulated, and it made sense that it was a part of his technology, as where Bale was just dreaming my voice.
Right. So for every Batman film I've seen, I've kind of ranked in my own head. What Batman is the best and what Bruce Wayne is the best.
Sure.
For a long time, Val Kilmer was my favorite of the both.
Interesting choice.
I think overall Christian Bale is probably the worst Batman. I actually like George Clooney more as Batman than I do Christian Bale.
Wow. Bat Nipples wins out for you.
Bat Nipples wins out for me.
Whoa.
I just can't do the voice, and it's weak dialogue most of the time, and you know, at least with Clooney, you've got some comical whimsy every now and then.
They definitely tried to like mask it in a little bit of that 66 Batman vibe.
Well, that was Joel Schumacher, right? It was garbage, and they all, the whole cast and crew of that movie are still apologizing for making it. And they think it's hilarious, and they all laugh at it.
By any means.
Like, it was not a good movie.
But now where we're at, 2018, if I had to say who my favorite Batman was of Batman and Bruce Wayne, it would be Ben Affleck, no doubt. Ben Affleck is the guy that they need to go forward with.
He's done, though, isn't he?
It's still up in the air. No one has officially determined.
One day,
It's just
he's
the
done,
DC
the next
universe
day
just
not.
is not having luck with these Batman franchises. Everything is just not done correctly. Like, if they're going to be dark about it, it's too dreary. If they're going to be lighthearted about it, it's too cheesy. Like, they're not getting it right.
Kevin Smith asked the screenwriters from Infinity War, like, how would you save the DCEU? And they gave them the advice that Batman gives Barry in Justice League. Just save one at a time. Take your time. Get one hero right. It doesn't have to be an A-list Batman. Find a C-list guy and make him shine.
Right.
And that makes everybody go, oh, well, if they can make Booster Gold amazing on the big screen and make it done right, they could do anything. And then you open the floodgates to make anything possible.
Let me ask you this, Tyler. Do you watch Gotham?
No. I don't watch any of it. I don't have time.
I haven't either.
You have homework to do. It's on Netflix.
Busted.
I have
it's
actual
recorded.
homework to do now
You
that
do.
I'm a college student again.
You have more homework.
Okay.
This is important too, Tyler.
I've wanted to watch Gotham and The Flash, and you know, I tried to watch Green Arrow a little bit. I think I got through.
No. If you're gonna watch anything, it's got to be Gotham,
Okay.
and you're gonna love it. And you're gonna be
Batman's my
so
least favorite
pleased
DC
because it's
character.
all about
Guess
the
what?
villains.
There's no Batman in
Right.
this,
It's about
so
baby
great.
Batman.
It's all villain based.
I know you don't like origin stories, and this is not Batman's origin story. This is the story of the villains and how they all become their respective villains.
Awesome.
And it's so good. You're gonna love it.
I'll watch
I
it.
started
Okay,
watching
good.
it, and that first couple episodes is just
The first 3 episodes are kind of slow. but then
Yeah,
once
you got to get
past
into it. You got to give it a chance. Give it a couple of episodes, and it really
so
just
what you're
picks up.
telling
It's
me is-
constantly nonstop.
It's the equivalent of Breaking Bad season 1.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
exactly.
that's why I didn't
Yes.
finish Breking Bad.
That's-
He gets
oh,
it.
Really?
He
'Cause
gets
season
it,
one's
guys.
so slow?
Yeah,
It's
I
only
also
6
don't like.
episodes,
Getting
Tyler.
it.
I also don't like Breaking
It's
Bad.
only 6
I'm
episodes.
the unpopular opinion guy.
I know. Sometimes
So,
I think you
to-
just choose that lot in
To
life,
sum up
but-
everything
Why
I
didn't you
tried
dress
to
up as
fumble
that?
through, I didn't like The Dark Knight. I just didn't enjoy it.
Fair enough.
The Dark Knight Rises, I enjoyed that movie start to finish. Bane, I actually liked Christian Bale as Batman in that movie. The Bat voice was a little bit toned
They
down.
did tone it down, I can say that.
You know, his dialogue was a lot more well written. And then, you know, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character in that film was fantastic.
Totally.
Just the overall story of The Dark Knight Rises, I think, was a better story than the second one. And it didn't have Maggie Gyllenhaal, so...
Word.
Yeah, that was great.
She wasn't really properly
Well,
cast
she
in that.
definitely died in the second one.
Yeah.
so-
Thankfully.
Yeah.
You,
She did. You're
yeah.
right. She
Yeah,
did.
she totally died.
She's definitely dead.
100%. Did you get? I'm not going to tangent. That's a whole other thing. I was going to bring up Frank for them, but I don't think they'd get it. So
Probably
that's
not.
for a different podcast. I
No,
think that's,
don't overwhelm him. He has Gotham to catch up on.
yeah, Gotham for real.
He's already got his homework.
Like-
I will do my best just for you, to Veronica.
I appreciate
to
it.
watch Gotham.
Yeah, it's
Way to
worth
take
watching.
one for the
too.
team.
Yeah, you guys should. Yes, no, really, you should because
I'll watch
here's.
it too.
You'll watch half an episode and fall asleep.
Oh,
That's what happened.
check this out. I can claim without question that the 4 seasons of Gotham are better than the 5 seasons of Gotham, right? Are better than the 4 seasons of The Flash. Overall,
Cool.
I agree.
the story is much bigger scale.
And I
they
love
do a
The
greater
Flash.
job of slow building, and they shock you every time you think you have a hold on what's happening. They change it up for you, and that's what makes great storytelling.
Well, if it focuses on the villains, I'm definitely going to enjoy
Yeah,
it.
you're
'Cause
sold.
that's-
You are. This
that's
is
where
gonna
my
be a
heart's
show
at
for
in
you.
DC.
This one's for you.
Kerry Michael Smith as the Riddler is, as becoming the Riddler, Ed Nygma, is one of the greatest performances in TV history because he has to play like 50 levels of himself because of the schizophrenia that runs through the Riddler. So he really portrays that beautifully.
And there really is never a dull moment in Gotham after like the first 3 episodes, like you said. Like it's constant from the beginning to the end. You're just like, Gotham, you know?
Absolutely. All right, well, folks, I think that's going to wrap it for Journey into Comics 200. I can't believe we did it, you guys. That was great. Thank you all.
We did it.
We
It
did
was
it.
really
yeah.
hard to do with Dick dressed like this. It's hard to take him seriously, but
Full-blown heritage.
he's making LaffyCon great again.
All right, well, I want to mention before we go that if you are listening, we will be walking around handing out Journey into Comics 200 stickers that are exclusive to this event. You get them here and only here because you guys got to hear us live 2 weeks before this actually goes live. So technically everyone here is time traveled because we are currently at July 15th in the schedule book, 16th rather. So, all right. Well, before we go, as always, check out Journey into Comics at journeyintocomics.com, where you can get all the different shows on our network. Go to iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher Radio, Google Play Music, and Spotify. Search Journey into Comics Network. You can get all the shows on our network, like I said. And go to patreon.com/Journey into Comics. Give us $1, get early access. Give us $3, get early access and exclusive content. And I think we're going to open up a $5 tier.
Oh?
Where we're going to be doing some exclusive sticker sheets. After my trial run, I quite like them, and I think that other people would like them too, so we might be offering that new. And then, of course, the $100 tier. Did you guys want to talk about that today, or should we save that for...
I think we should keep it PG.
Okay.
Yeah, this
Save
is a
it for
family-friendly
Podcastrophe.
event after
Fair
all.
enough. All right, folks. Well, in order, thank you, Tyler, for joining me.
Thank you for having me on this momentous occasion.
Dude, it was great to have you here. Dick.
It's always great to be part of these milestones.
I feel like you're part of all of our big milestones, man. So thank you for sharing that with us. And then, Veronica, always thank you. It's a pleasure to have you on.
No problem. Happy to be here.
Oh, excellent. All right, folks. Well, for Journey into Comics 200, I'm Nate.
Tyler.
Dick.
Veronica.
And as always, pop your caps back and fill your brains with shit. Later.